Thanks for tuning in. You're watching Arirang's Within the Frame. Coming to you live from Seoul, I'm Han Da-eun. National debate is heating up here in South Korea over implementation of proactive immigration policy in response to its looming demographic woes. The government says that South Korea has transitioned to a stage where accepting more immigrants is not merely an option, but an imperative to address the looming labor shortage and stave off the serious risks of demographic decline. But consensus is lacking, and a multitude of hurdles loom large on the horizon. On this edition of Within the Frame, we look into immigration as a potential remedy for Korea's dwindling population and explore the array of challenges it may entail. To help us explore the directions of the country's immigration policy, Zeljana Zmire, lecturer of international studies at Hanyang University, joins us in the studio. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you so much.
Also accompanying us tonight is Choi Hyun-sun, professor of public administration at Myeongji University. Welcome to the program.
Hello, thanks for having me.
All right, Dr. Zmire, I want to start with you. Oh, my apologies. Professor Choi, let's start with you. South Korea's total fertility rate stood at 0.72 last year. How serious is this, and what does the number imply for Korea's future?
Yes, it is very serious. Maybe Koreans extinct, maybe no more Koreans in the future. So in short and middle range period, also our society and industry totally changed. I think that how serious we are, the New York Times compare our population cliff maybe to the Black Death in the 14th century in the Europe, because our population, the decline is so fast, and it's like a big disease now on our country, and then it is changed a lot. Especially defense is started some problem. I mean, there are not enough the reserve of the people, especially young generation. So maybe our defense system have not enough the soldiers. Also, education is a big problem. I'm now working at the university. Probably in the future or the short future, maybe half of our university will be gone because there are no more children we can teach. Also, welfare is a big problem in the aging population, because we don't have we have a historic lowest the fertility rate. At the same time, we have a lot of the aging population in the future, and the welfare cost will be shoot up. So which means our society has a big pressure in our industry and defense, education, and welfare, and it is the most urgent issue in our country.
Korea's birth rate is so low that it's being likened to Black Death, as you've pointed out, in Europe in 14th century. And it's also becoming a focal point for scholars worldwide. And the imminent threat is getting more palpable each year. And to tackle the issue before it's too late, the government is exerting all efforts, and that include welcoming more foreigners. Now, Dr. Zmire, the South Korean government has rolled out a series of measures to attract more foreign workers amid the country's shrinking workforce. And of them include granting more incentives to migrant workers and relaxing regulations related to visa issuance and residence permits as well. In your perspective, could foreign workers be a viable solution to tackling the country's looming labor shortage?
So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to discuss this viable topic. I must mention that actually very recently Korean Ministry of Labor announced that they will need 900,000 foreign workers by 2032, that is around in 8 years. So we talk about practically 1 million people. That's a huge workforce shortage. And I must mention that other countries, other developed countries actually experience the same things. For example, UK, France, Germany, Japan, and others. UK and France, they solved this by attracting people from their former colonies, and they offer them some kind of permanent residency as a form of apology for past. Germany and Japan, they adopted foreign worker programs, and that is what Korea has been doing. However, I must mention, first of all, Germany is the most successful among these three, and Germany started with this very early 1960s. Foreign workers were in charge of like very boosting economy. Germany originally expected that they will be staying short time and then they will go back to their home, but they realized in early 2000s that there are around 7 million illegal foreign workers, around 8% of population. So Germany decided simply to catch two rabbits with one shot, and that is allowing them to stay permanently. And then there has been a series of very open immigration policies. Still Germany faces workforce shortage. So what Korea can learn from that, I can see that Korea actually is on a very similar path. But Korea has been insisting on preventing 3D workers to stay here permanently. So we keep them 5 years, we teach them skills, they become professional, and then we let them go, we force them to go. This is not good for them and not good for Korean economy neither, because then Korean companies need to hire new people from abroad that are still not trained. So they bring them in and then they have to train them from scratch. This produces vicious circle, so it creates more illegal migrants. And Korean government also is struggling because they need to invest money, efforts on illegal crackdown all the time. So I'm simply wondering why we need to go into this vicious circle. It would be sort of a little bit easier solution, at least if not allowing them to stay permanently, allowing them to stay longer term. I think this is one solution. Yeah.
So you do believe that inviting more foreign workers can be a viable solution to tackle Korea's looming labor shortage, but we will need more adjustments and improved measures to deal with the large influx of foreign workers.
You are right. So only more quantity of people, it's not enough. We will need to adjust policy in more holistic way, I think. Yeah.
All right, now, Professor Che, according to the latest statistics, the number of foreign residents in Korea reached over 1.4 million last year, hitting the highest level yet. 9 in 10 were in their 30s or younger, and the majority of them were from Asia. Could you help us understand the pattern in the influx of foreigners and the implications?
Yes, there are some several very interesting points, especially we have a young foreign resident. Now, the influx of the young foreign residents is a very good sign for Korean society, because we don't have not enough the human resource. In the same time, our aging population is grow. So maybe in the future, as just Zeljana talk about, maybe let them stay longer. If we can do that, maybe it help a lot. This influx of the young foreign resident can help a lot, especially Korean industry and society. Also, same time, it is interesting. The most foreign residents are mainly from the Asia, where is maybe similar to our culture. They can eat the rice, something like that. So maybe it is more good way we can mingle together, maybe in the future, if we have a more aggressive immigration policy. But however, in the same time, foreign population is following the maybe pattern of our Koreans residents at life, which is they are concentrated in the Seoul and the Gyeonggi or other big cities. So our problems, many problems are happening in the rural area, especially the population cliff happens a lot in the rural area. Also, industry in the rural area is a big issue. So I think the government needs to consider how to allocate this foreign population in the countrywide, especially rural area. So I think in the future we must change immigration policy more aggressively. Maybe not in the future. Maybe right now we should do that. Then we have a very good condition, very good circumstance, which is Asian population, including the many other countries. Also, we have a young population is coming to the Korea, which is a very good sign to our country. So I think that this is a very good, very interesting points according to the statistics.
Thousands of foreigners now live in Korea, but little assistance and protection is offered to the population, according to various reports. It's one thing to bring in immigrants to mitigate demographic woes, but quite another to facilitate their integration into the Korean society, which leads to our next question. Dr. Zmire, how would you evaluate the Korean government's support and related policies for foreign residents within the country? And also, what is your perspective on the level of acceptance of immigrants within Korean society?
Okay, so first I need to mention that Korean government primarily supports people who are envisioned to stay here permanently. So we speak about marriage migrants and their multicultural families. We speak about ethnic return migrants, meaning Joseonjok, Korean Americans, and Korean. And then we speak about foreign professionals. Among these three, marriage migrants actually, in my opinion, receive the biggest support. They have access to a variety of programs in their local offices, in their local administration offices. They range from simple courses like cooking, hobby, until more serious things such as child rearing and child support. I think this is all very helpful for them. Of course, there are some services missing. I would like to highlight in some problematic cases, such as cases of divorce. They lack, I think the legal staff are very much understaffed. So these kind of services are definitely lacking. However, overall, I think support for marriage migrants is good. When you talk about ethnic return migrants, they don't have any problem with visa, I think. However, in Korean society, it matters a lot whether a person is Joseonjok, Korean, or Korean American. Among these three Korean Americans, I believe they receive the least discrimination. Other two groups, very often, they have to suffer from prejudice, misjudgments, even discrimination in society. To solve this, we definitely need to adopt multicultural education that stresses that all cultures are equal, all cultural identities are equal. Then speaking about foreign professionals, this group is very much diverse. That's for I can't really talk about their identities in short, but I would like to stress that this group can be very viable, very significant bridge between Korea and abroad. They can attract foreign investment, they can stimulate trade, improve Korean image abroad, but Korean government needs to help them how to do this role very effectively. So I hope that Korean government can provide more programs going in this direction.
And in related question, Professor Che, some are calling on the need to establish a new national immigration agency that can serve as a control tower for related issues. What are your thoughts on this?
I think that this is a good news, but there are some things we must consider. I think the national immigration agency should be the planning and service agency, not the regulation of the legal enforcement agency. Especially structure of our government is maybe new agency under the Department of the Law. It is not a good way because we are not talking about the regulation and the legal enforcement. We are talking about how we can our society be a multicultural society. We should do that because the general policy, comprehensive policy, should more focus on not only the labor and the population and the legal policy, but also multicultural society. So it's a totally different way. Maybe we can say the new immigrants can assimilate to our society. At the same time, we must respect their culture. So we must not choose easy way as a government and the bureaucracy in the government believe in that if we have a new agency, everything will be solved. It's a very naive thinking, naive thought. So I think that we must choose and we must focus on the solution of our Korea's the most urgent issue is like a population cliff and the lowest the birth rate, and the same time the aging population. So if we make it, the new immigration agency should be more focused on the planning for the future, and then maybe service for our new population. So this is a brothers and sisters. So I think how we can welcome those new population is the key of the success of this new agency.
Well, the Yoon administration has been making efforts to launch a new agency that can serve as a control tower handling immigration affairs, but so far little progress has been made, so it's something to keep a close eye on. And another area to keep close tabs on is how other countries who took the path ahead of us are faring. Dr. Zmire, you mentioned briefly about Germany, but taking a deeper look into the issue. Germany's population, it added 300,000 last year. And of course, the main driving force of the population growth was immigrants. What can Korea learn from countries like Germany and other European countries or any other countries that you just mentioned?
Well, when we talk about Germany, Germany experienced very similar trends in the past, and that is like shrinking population, starting from 1960s. In 1960s, they had 2.5 birth rate, and in 1970s, it shrank to 1.4. However, Germany managed to contain that. So since then until today, Germany has around 1.4, 1.5 birth rate. Korean shrinking, if you look at the graph, it is all the time shrinking. So what can Korea learn from that? First of all, Germany, to contain that, adopted more and more aggressive immigration policies. That is number one. So Korea needs to think about it, how to adopt more progressive, better immigration policies. Second thing is we need to think about domestic social policies. When I think about Korean mothers, you know, so many Korean mothers after birth, after childbirth, they opt to leave their careers. And I think I never met, no, I very rarely met a Korean mother who has 2 or 3 kids and she's still working. If we talk about Germany, Denmark, Netherlands, even my country, that doesn't belong to the most developed group, that is unthinkable. You know, those governments, they try to provide incentives, for example, flexible work time, or like working time in a period like where kids are in school, and giving enough monetary compensation for them to have motivation to keep on their career. In Korea, as you know, that is not the case. I feel that's very sad. I just hope that Korean government really comes up with more effective programs for Korean mothers, because for Korean mothers, I know that Korean government has been trying to do a lot, but I see nearly not as enough.
Germany and Canada are both considered immigration powerhouses among the G7 countries, with immigrants accounting for nearly 20% of their population. And if Korea's immigration rate reaches that level, of course, we'll see that much higher economic growth, according to various analyses. But there are, of course, challenges associated with this. As you've mentioned, we will need more aggressive immigration policy and better support measures for foreign residents in Korea. And speaking of which, Professor Che, attracting highly skilled workers is another challenge for South Korea, as the majority of migrant workers are currently sought for low-skilled, cheap labor. What could be some possible ways to entice more skilled foreign experts?
Yes, I think that we should follow the Dr. Zmire just talked about very good things. So we should follow the way. But the thing is now we need maybe our immigration policy should be based on the global standard, because now we are compete other country with other countries for the more skilled foreign expert. But if you see the statistics, our foreign population average of their income is like 2 million won, which is maybe very low, which is our immigration policy still focus on low-skilled cheap labor. So maybe, for example, our visa, we need to expand the E7, the visa, which is belong to the more skilled foreign expert. This is very important. Also, we must realize our society is now in the multicultural society. In the 2023, we have 4.8% of the foreign population, but now we are moving to the 5%, more than 5%. That OECD indicate more than 5% of the foreign population. That is maybe multicultural society. We are already in the multicultural society, but our institution, our legal, maybe the readiness is still behind that things. Another thing is I think that there is a very interesting concept we using a lot. Also, in the worldwide using is a creative cities. If we want to have an expert, a highly educated expert, maybe we should provide, according to the creative cities, maybe we should provide inclusion and the fairness and maybe cultural asset. Also, in our society, we have many ICT industry and top edge industry. So I think that this is a very good position. We can make it, we can attract more highly educated or skilled population to Korea. But problem is we have a nice infrastructure, but still the institution, the legal readiness is behind that. So I think that maybe in the future, maybe in the future, we must have maybe new maybe agency for the labor, the immigration. Then we can fix this. We can fix it. I think Korea can fix this very soon.
And staying with you, Professor Che, large influxes of immigrants have contributed to population growth in some countries, but there were also side effects. Amid a rise in illegal immigration, refugees, crime, and housing prices, social anxiety also grew, which has been reflected in recent surveys. What are some preemptive measures that we can take to curb those adverse effects?
I think that maybe the last 80 years immigration, the history in the many countries, including German and maybe Canada and the United States, the problem about those some issue about the new immigrants and some citizens in the country, because of there is the immigration policy more focused on the maybe the industrial way or the population policy. So we need the labor for our industry. So we try to bring the people here, but now it's changed. So now in the multicultural society, we are changing. Many countries changed their policy. We should see the people from the other country as a human beings, as same as us. So this is a change of the paradigm in the immigration policy we should do. So it's just a matter of the human beings, not the labor force. So I think that this change of things can prevent about some side effect about this immigration. Yeah, probably it is very hard. I cannot say it is easy, but it is very hard. Maybe different culture, different people get together and make one society is very different. So it is very carefully we'll prepare about how we can maybe prepare the multicultural society. That's the key. Other thing is maybe in the creative cities should have inclusion. So we need some more inclusive policy. In the future, maybe we have a multicultural society concept and the inclusive policy. Then probably it's a much better way. Is the new maybe immigration and in the future. Yeah.
And just very quickly before we let you go, Dr. Zmire, what kind of actions do we need for Korea to advance towards a more inclusive society?
Okay, so you know that Korea is very homogeneous society, and actually it was topic of my PhD thesis that Korea is kind of has ethnic nationalism and how this impacts our foreign population. That monoculturalism and that kind of hermit kingdom concept made sense in the past when Korea had to protect itself from potentially invasive forces from abroad. In 21st century, it makes little or very no sense. So I would like to highlight, since you mentioned some fears about immigration, that, for example, young Korean people these days are very much confused about their future. And they might be thinking that this foreigner who comes and want to become skilled migrant might be taking over their jobs. This is, first of all, unfounded fear, because many Korean companies, when they hire foreigners, they hire them for a different role. And that role is to boost foreign market, not domestic market. Second thing is, in front of this AI revolution that is coming, whether we want it or not, we will need new knowledge and new sets of skills. And Korea cannot rely on uniform, monocultural way of thinking to do that. Korea needs to be open to knowledge transfer from abroad, to multicultural way of thinking, and immigrant population here can facilitate that process. At Hanyang University, where I lecture and where I do my research, I'm focused on, let's say, two things. One is how to make foreign professionals more integrated together with other foreigners, and in front of this AI revolution, how to make Koreans and foreigners competitive. This is a huge task. It will take me a lot of effort, and we all as society need to work on it. If we manage, then Korea can become a very inclusive society and more competitive, well recognized abroad.
All right, we'll need a lot more active discussions on this issue, but we'll leave it there for tonight. Thank you so much, Dr. Zmire and Professor Che, for sharing your perspectives.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in same time tomorrow to join our conversation. Goodbye for now.